It was a dark and stormy night. Sarah was home alone. She had always been afraid of the dark, and tonight was no exception. She tried to shake off her fear and focus on the book she was reading, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. As the storm raged on outside, Sarah heard a strange noise coming from the attic. She tried to ignore it and tell herself it's just the wind, but the noise persisted. It sounded like something or someone was walking around up there. Sarah's heart began to race as she slowly made her way to the attic door. She hesitated for a moment before finally summoning the courage to open it. As she climbed the creaky stairs, she could feel her fear mounting. The noise grew louder and louder until she finally reached the top, and to her horror, she found a figure standing in the corner of the attic. It was a tall, thin man with a pale face and dark, sunken eyes. He was wearing a long black coat and a wide brimmed hat that obscured his face. Sarah tried to scream, but no sound came out. She was paralyzed with fear as the figure began to move toward her. Just as she thought it was all over, she woke up. It was all just a nightmare. But the fear still lingered. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was still watching her, waiting for her to fall asleep again. The next night, Sarah decided to stay awake, but her body was too exhausted, and she eventually fell asleep. But this time, the figure appeared in her dream again, but this time it was closer. Sarah woke up in a cold sweat. She knew this was not just a nightmare. This was real. Determined to get to the bottom of things, Sarah decided to investigate the attic during the day. She found nothing out of the ordinary, but as she was about to leave, she noticed a small door hidden behind a stack of boxes. She opened it and found a small room that had been sealed off for years. Inside, she found old photographs and letters that revealed the house had a dark history. It turned out that the house once belonged to a man named Jacob, who had been known for his strange and reclusive behavior. He had been rumored to practice dark arts and had even been accused of murder. Sarah realized that the figure she had been seeing in her dreams was none other than Jacob, who had somehow become trapped in the house. She realized that she had to put an end to his haunting once and for all. She went to an old friend who was an expert in exorcisms, and together they performed the ritual and sealed the room. And after the ritual was complete, Sarah never saw the figure again, but she knew that Jacob had finally found peace and she finally slept peacefully. But even though Sarah was no longer haunted by Jacob, she couldn't shake the feeling that there were still dark secrets hidden in that house, waiting to be uncovered. She decided to leave the house and never return again. And from that day on, the house stood empty and abandoned, a chilling reminder of the horrors that once occurred within its walls. And to this day, no one dared to enter the house again for fear of what they might find.